Hello and welcome to Business Point here on Global Television, your hub for topical discussions in the world of business. I am Queen Agaba, and of course in Business Point we'll look at the Nigerian economy, government policies, tech as well as innovation. Today we'll be having a rundown of the news making rounds in the world of business. First off, the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja has remanded a former Deputy Director of Highways at the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Augustine Ojo Oluwaniyan, alongside a surveyor, Suleiman Abdulkadir Mohammed of the Department of Highways and Planning, in connection with a 1,936,961,649 fraud case filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Justice Jude Onwe-Buezi of the FCT High Court Apo remanded the defendants pending the hearing and the determination of their bail applications. And on March 19, 2025, the EFCC arraigned the defendants on a 3-count charge relating to the alleged fraudulent diversion and misappropriation of the public funds amounting to over almost 2 billion naira. According to the Anti-Graft Agency, the alleged offense contravenes Section 19 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000. The funds were said to have been earmarked for the acquisition of titles for the federal roads nationwide between March 4, 2019 and July 17, 2020, but were allegedly converted by the defendants for their personal use. At the resumption of proceedings, the defendants pleaded not guilty when the charges were read to them by the court registrar. Now, the prosecution counsel, Abba Mohammed, requested a trial date and asked the courts to remand the defendants in the correctional center. But counsel for the first and second defendants, J.K. Kolawole and ASU Garba, applied for an adjournment to enable them file bail applications. They also urged the courts to remand their clients in the EFCC's custody pending the determination of their bail. However, Justice Onwe-Buezi remanded the 2 defendants at Kuje Correctional Center while adjourning the matter until April 3, 2024 for the hearing of the bail application. We'll take a quick break now. When we return, we'll look at more stories and also look at the stock market as well as Elon Musk's social network, which, on X has secured nearly $1 billion in new equity funding. After the break, please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, Elon Musk's social network X has secured nearly $1 billion in new equity funding, valuing the company at approximately $32 billion. This valuation matches the company's worth when Musk took it private in 2022. Musk himself participated in the equity raise, and the company is considering using some of the proceeds to pay down its remaining debt load. The Twitter buyout, which occurred in 2022, was a roughly $44 billion transaction, including at least $12.5 billion in debt. Notably, X's valuation had previously taken a hit, with Fidelity Investments estimating its value to below $10 billion in September last year. However, the company has seemingly made a turnaround, posting $1.2 billion in adjusted earnings for 2024, which is comparable to its earnings before Musk's takeover. CWG PLC has just released its financial report for 2024, and the numbers are impressive. The company posted a pre-tax profit of 4.4 billion naira, which is a whopping 290.24% increase from the previous year's 1.1 billion naira. The full year revenue also saw a significant boost, reaching 46.3 billion naira, a 97% year-over-year increase from 23.5 billion naira in 2023. As for dividends, CWG PLC has declared a final dividend following a dividend yield of 1.80% and an annual dividend of 0.16 naira per share. It's worth noting that CWG PLC's financial performance has been on an upward trend, with revenue growing from 14.21 billion naira in 2022 to 23.53 billion naira in 2023 and now 46.3 billion naira in 2024. Looking at the all-share index closing the trading day on March 18th, 2025 in the red, falling by 423.48 points to settle at 105,375.69. This decline marks 3 consecutive days of losses, translating to a 0.40% decrease from the previous day's closing figure of 105,799.17. Accompanying this downward turn was a significant drop in trading volume, which fell by 26.7% from 477.5 million shares traded the day before to just 349.9 million. For the market capitalization followed suit, closing the day at 66.07 trillion, down from 66.3 trillion naira, as the index held slightly to 66 trillion naira threshold. Amid these fluctuations, NAMETH and NNFM stood out as impressive gainers, rising by 10% and 9.99% respectively. Current ASI market summary would be 105,375.69 points, and the previous ASI 105,799.17 points. Day change minus 0.40, and year-to-date performance plus 2.38%. Volume traded was 349.9 million shares, and for the market capital we have 66.07 trillion naira. The top 5 gainers will be NAMET, up 10% to 2.97 naira, and NNFM up 9.99% to 79.80 naira. We have Custodian up 9.69% to 21.50, and Sunosar up 7.99% to 5 naira. Guineans up 7.69% to 0.70 naira, and top 5 losers will be BUA Cement down 10% to 83.70 naira, Ella Lakes down 4.82% to 3.16 naira, and Regalines down 4.1%. Down 4.41% to 0.65 naira. We have Wema Bank down 4.19% to 10.30 naira, and Omatech down 2.99% to 0.65 naira. Daily trading volume slipped by 26.7%, decreasing from 477.5 million shares traded the day before to 349.9 million. For Access Corp emerged as a dominant player in the market, exchanging an impressive 36.7 million shares, closely followed by Univenture, which recorded 30 million shares. Fidelity Bank also showcased strong performance, trading 28.8 million shares. Jais Bank and Zenith Bank contributed 22 million and 19.5 million shares respectively. Trading value, in terms of trading value, Zenith Bank stood out as the leading performer, facilitating transactions worth 929.9 million, while Access Core added 847.2 million to the daily total, while GT Co and Aradel contributed 815.6 million naira and 803 million naira respectively. NACO rounded off the trading value figures with 759.3 million naira. Suit and Fuga's performance. In the suit category, BUA Cement experienced a notable decline of 10%, while Owando fell by 0.69%. And within the Fuga sector, only Zenith Bank managed to gain climbing by 0.42%. UBA shared 2.61% and First Hold slipped by 2.28%. Additionally, Access Core declined by 0.46% and GTCO fell by 0.25%. For the market outlook, the all-share index is in a retracement phase as it strives to maintain the 105,000 threshold. If the market is not deemed overbought, the environment could also present attractive opportunities for investors seeking to buy at lower prices. We'll take a quick break now, and when we return, we'll wrap up the conversation. Please stay with us.
That global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world.
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Many thanks for staying with us. If you've just joined us, this is Business Point here on Global Television, your hub for topical discussions in the world of business. And we have had a long time looking at the news making rounds in the world of business. First, we looked at the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Abuja, remanding a former Deputy Director of Highways at the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Augustine Ojo Olowoniyan, alongside Surveyor Suleiman Abdulkadir Mohammed of the Department of Highways and Planning in connection with a 1,939,961,649 fraud case filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. We also had a rundown through news about Elon Musk's social network X having secured nearly $1 billion in new equity funding, valuing the company at approximately $32 billion, and that the valuation matches the company's worth when Musk took it to private in 2022, and that Musk himself participated in the equity raise, and the company is considering using some of the proceeds to pay down its remaining debt load. In other news, we said the CWG PLC has just released its financial report for 2024, and the numbers are impressive. The company posted a pre-tax profit of 4.4 billion naira, which is a whopping 290.24% increase from the previous year's 1.1 billion naira. The full year revenue also saw a significant boost, reaching 46.3 billion, a 97% year-over-year increase from 23.5 billion naira in 2023. And as for dividends, the CWG PLC declared a final dividend following a dividend yield of 1.80% and an annual dividend of 0.16 naira per share. And wrapping it up, the all-share index closed the trading day on 18th March in red, falling by 423.48 points to settle at 105,375.69. The decline marks 3 consecutive days of losses, translating to a 0.40% decrease from the previous day closing figure of 105,799.17. That's how much we can take today on Business Point. Don't forget to follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. And don't forget, Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times 276, and free to air on Nigerian Sat. I'm Queen Agapa. Thank you very much, and see you again.